Had to prep the coffee this morning before I get up and go. So I'm attempting to do the 1000 landscape photography challenge. Started by Oddbjørn, I think is his name. And then followed up by Thomas Heaton, which I follow on YouTube. Fantastic landscape photographer. The idea is to walk 1,000 steps from your house and get a photograph, one photograph of some sort of landscape. So I've got to prep. One of the rules is that you need to do it in one shot. So I've got to get my GoPro ready to get the video of me walking out there, and hopefully I can find a spot 1,000 steps from here. I don't know how far 1,000 steps is. Typically when I go running, I can get about 2,000 steps in a mile. So I've got a half a mile-ish in my running gait from my front door to find a spot, and then once I get to my spot, I've got 3 minutes to set up my tripod and get the shot. But I'm not sure if I can do that. We will see. There we go. So, I had to reset my GoPro, and now we're off to our adventure. So, as you can see, we are getting started at 6:26 in the morning, and I've got 390 steps so far, and it's not exactly keeping up with me, so I might have to play around with it in a second. So, similar to Thomas Heaton, I'm not starting from my doorstep. I obviously did start at my doorstep, but I didn't want to, oh my goodness, look at this. Look at these clouds. Let me see if I can adjust this for you guys. Look at these clouds. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm missing them. Okay, we've got to figure out, not a ton of clouds, but sunrise is amazing. Okay. So I'm not starting at my doorstep for safety reasons. I don't want people knowing exactly where I live, but coming here to a local park, I did start at my doorstep, not showing that portion of the walking. But I started at 390 steps, and so by the time I get to 1,390 steps, that will be 1,000, right? So I've got to figure out exactly where I'm gonna set up my spot. Unfortunately, I don't know where that is in this park. There's some really pretty spots that I can set up the tripod and get some shots, but I don't know if I can make it there in 1,000 steps. So we're going to find out, make some decisions. I think this is a really fun challenge because it challenges you to, one, get that 1,000 steps and figure out where that's going to be, and two, gets you outside, right? Set some parameters. So some of the other parameters are you can't use a drone. You have to use regular camera. You can use any lens setup that you want with your camera. So I've brought quite a few lenses. And yeah, I think that's about it. So we're gonna see how this works. Alright, sorry guys, just realized that I had shot that previous video on some wrong settings. I guess I still had my settings set up from inside my house. I know, amateur. So we're gonna check in and see how many steps I have. I can get my watch to cooperate. So what is that saying now? It still says 496. That's not a good sign. Let's see if that will update. Ah, there we go, 7:57. So we've got a few more that we can go. I've got to figure out a spot that I can set up. I know that there's some really pretty wildflowers in the back of this park. There's also a lake or a pond out here. And, well, there's a bunch of trees and then some open area. So, going to try to avoid being in the trees when I hit my 1,000 steps. But, don't know if it's gonna work. This is just, oh my goodness. There's a lot I can do with that if I was in the right position. But that's part of the challenge, right? You gotta be in the right position. You never know when you're gonna be there, when your light hits, so you've got to be ready. I kinda wish I hit 1,000 steps right now with sunbeams coming through the sky and the clouds. Mockingbird up there. It's a bit chilly out there here today. We live in Texas, so it's actually usually very hot and humid, but today it's a chilly 61 degrees. Alright, so checking in with my watch again. I'm at 9:24, and it's obviously not updating live, so I've got to reopen the app every time, unfortunately. 924, which means I've got 400-ish steps. I could go this direction, which is the lake. So I could go this direction, which is the lake. Pond area. Keep going on the path. I think if I'm going to catch any of that sun, I'm going to have to go towards the lake pond area and hope that I can get to the other side to catch that sun coming through just the right time. It looks like we have some fog over the, not some fog, we got steam over the pond over here. Okay, so just a quick update, see if this will focus. I'm at 1,100 steps, which means I've got just a little under 200 steps to go. I'm at the pond. I would really like to be over here on the other side to capture the sun peeking through these trees over the water. So I'm going to take larger steps, hoping that the step counter will actually work properly to capture these steps. Check in real quick. I'm at almost 1,200 steps, and our goal is 1,390 because it started at 390. Oh, they just turned the water fountain on. Wow, I've never seen that before. So that changes things. Since the water fountain is on, we're not going to get that glassy pond out there like we wanted, and that's going to affect the sunbeams coming through. So I've got 200-ish, or a little less than 200 steps, I guess. Well, I guess I've got more than 200 steps. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to stick with my original plan because I can't do much with 200 steps. So I'm going to attempt to get over here, the other side of this pond right here, and capture. I'm actually going to have to cut off the sidewalk to do so because I'm not sure that I can make it in my allotted steps. So just looked at my step counter at 1254, which means I can actually go back up here on the sidewalk to get to my desired place. I just noticed that the steam that is coming off of the fountain is actually really cool right now. So we will see if I can make it to a spot that works well for this challenge. I'm actually gonna stop and check my step counter, see if it will update for me. Here we go, 1305. So that means got 90 steps, well, 85 I guess, from that point. I mean, goodness gracious, look at this. So I probably need to find a spot down here to set up my tripod, catch the sun coming through the water there and the fog that's coming over it, and then this glassy portion of the pond coming down and catching on this down here. Either that or I can come over here and shoot something this direction. And I've got a few steps that I can spare, fortunately, to do so. So do I want this kind of composition with the tree blocking the light? Or do I want something with the steam coming up over, right over here? That's going to be a question. See, I think this would be really, really cool if I had the ability to do an HDR. But if you remember correctly, my rules state that I can only do one exposure. That means I can only take one photo. He did say that if you accidentally hit the shutter button, you can take more than one photo, but you're only allowed one good photo. So that limits what we can shoot. So why don't we try, I think, this spot here, because I think the exposure is going to work a little bit better over here. This will be something in here. If I can focus, there we go. 24, so I've got 40 steps to go. I mean, this really would be a nice spot down here too. This would be a nice spot down here as well. Ooh, scared me. There's a little frog down there. I mean, this is really pretty as well. But like I said, with that sky so bright, I am not sure I can get all of the detail that I really want in this image from this spot. Could shoot something like this over here. Get more of a detail shot on some of these close-up grass. That wouldn't be so bad either. Did you guys hear that? Let's check in with the watch. 13:65, so I've got 30 more steps to go. To get the shot that I want. I think I am going to head back up here. It's just such a beautiful spot for what I've got to work with. Unfortunately, there's some trash out here too. Very careful with this. Not sure who sneezed on this. I think we'd be getting the coronavirus over here. Here we go. Throw your trash away, people. All right. Let's see if it will update. 1382. I've got 8 steps. Which direction do I go? I think I'm gonna go right over here. Spiderweb. I think right in here somewhere. It's such a tough one because now we've got that sun reflecting off of the water down here, which is shooting right back up to where I would want to be. So, not sure if we can block that with the tree right here. I'll check in with my step counter here and make sure exactly how many we have. 1382 still. Super reliable, obviously. So I could come up here a little bit farther, shoot something, or maybe I just skip trying to get the perfect shot right there. Come over here where the grass is, like I originally thought. And we've got that really nasty reflection. Golly. Tons of frogs out here. Okay, let's check in with the watch here. 14:22. What the hey? See if you would have updated properly. Okay, so I guess this is my spot. Here. Pull my tripod off here. For this one, I'm using the Manfrotto V-Free tripod. Set this up semi-level. Bring this down quite a bit. Good thing about this tripod is it sets up fairly well. Okay, oh, I forgot. I've got to set a timer for 3 minutes from where I set up my spot. If I can find my clock. Okay, starting 3 minutes now. Now, oops. Resume, there we go. Now I've got it set. Set that down there. And keep me honest. Hopefully I can get a shot within that time. So I've got my Sony A7iii on it right now. I've got the 16 to 35. I'm not sure I want to stick with this lens, this composition. But we'll see. Since I'm shooting right into the sun, and I'm probably going to add a filter, taking the lens hood off. Yeah. So, not that lens. That's okay. Switch over to the, actually, while I'm at it, might as well put the lens filter on. For this one I brought a variable ND filter. I know that a lot of landscape photographers are just cringing right now saying, oh, what are you doing bringing an ND filter? It's variable out here. Well, the idea was that I'm not going to have a ton of time to switch ND filters back and forth, so I might as well bring something that will work to my advantage. Oh, that was not exactly the shot that I wanted to get, but that's what we got. We'll see how it turns out in Photoshop and Lightroom, I guess. Obviously not going to do too much photoshopping, but let's see if we can bring back some of the blacks on that. So, things that I've learned through this trip or challenge are okay, so things that I've learned through this challenge are to be very aware of my steps, how far I'm walking, where I'm walking, things like that. 2, photography can be fun. You can make challenges out of it. You can challenge other people to do fun things that are going to take you out of your comfort zone, and I think that is good. I think getting out of your comfort zone is really good in creative endeavors. And this is a good way to do it, especially when everybody is kind of sheltering in place, or being cautious, social distancing, things like that. Another thing is to get out earlier. Get up earlier. I shouldn't have squandered around my time at home, because I think I could have gotten a better composition if I'd gotten here before the light or the sun had fully come up. So get up earlier. That's always a good tip. And then the last thing I think is get a better step counter, maybe. I don't know. I used to use Fitbit, and I loved using the Fitbit because it was accurate and it was up to date. I've since switched to an Apple Watch, which I enjoy. Thank you to my sister for giving me the Apple Watch, but I've got to find a better app maybe for counting my steps that'll keep it up to date all the time. So that's my 1,000 step landscape photography challenge. Thanks.